Good afternoon, everybody. Colin here with Techout. Today we are going to be taking a look and talking about the iPhone Air. Um, Obviously, you guys saw me unbox mine a couple of days ago, Friday when it came out. And I've been using this phone all day yesterday and today. Obviously, it's my main phone, and really like it. I just actually noticed that the wallpaper on this one is um, has a little animation for when you move the device side to side. I didn't notice that before, but yeah, very cool. So we're going to be talking about the iPhone Air. I just did a video on the case. This is the Apple Shadow case, as well as I just unboxed the um, Apple Watch Ultra 3, and I've got my AirPods down here as well. So we're going to be taking a look at all that kind of stuff. Not going to be opening those in this video, but I will be doing an unboxing of those as well. So I just wanted to do this for excuse me, allergies here kind of suck right now. But I want to talk about the iPhone Air and all that kind of stuff because a lot of people have been commenting on the battery life, the scratching. There's a bunch of stuff out there on the iPhone Air, the iPhone 17, everything like that. So just wanted to talk about it, see if anybody had any questions that I may be able to answer as somebody that's been using the device, full time for a couple days now. And one thing about the iPhone that I have realized in the past couple of days with everybody posting stuff on the internet is that people like to make non-issues an issue just to make something look bad. Like people posting pictures of the stuff in the Apple Store and all that kind of stuff about the phone scratching and markings on the phone and all this kind of stuff. Um, it's really not that bad. A lot of the stuff that you see in those pictures are not actual scratches on the back of the phone. It's just from like the display stuff at the Apple Store, like the cable, the tether cable, and the MagSafe, mount that they're mounted to for the display, leaving marks on the back of the phone. They're not actual scratches. It is stuff that wipes away. Um, it's not actually in the glass. So people are like, they like to make that kind of stuff a non-issue. Stuff that's a non-issue an issue. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at posts and stuff like that. Battery life on my iPhone 16, or yeah, my iPhone 16, my iPhone Air has been great. I'm at 96% right now. It's 1:03 in the afternoon now. Just full transparency, I did just go to Best Buy to pick up the Apple Watch, and I had it on my MagSafe charger in my car. Going there and going back, it's about a 15-minute drive each way. Um, but that being said, I don't have an issue with the battery life on the iPhone Air. I took it to work yesterday. I was at work from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. and I didn't plug it in. I didn't use any kind of battery. I didn't use the MagSafe battery or anything like that. And it was fine. I got home with like 70%. Now, I'll put it on my MagSafe charger. Um, I'll put it on my MagSafe charger in my car on the way to work and on my way home. And that gets me enough power, to go through work and then top it off on the way home. And I can, do stuff around the house and stuff like that without the battery being an issue. The speaker, there is a difference in sound, yes. It's not as high quality and it's not as loud as something with stereo speakers like the 16 Pro Max or the 17 or 17 Pro Max. But I don't think it's an issue. It's not an issue for me because the only time I really use the speaker on my phone is for like phone calls, which aren't the highest quality anyway, even if you have two speakers, just the nature of the phone call. They're not that high quality. So that's really the only thing I use like the speaker for on my phone. If I'm watching a video, um, I don't watch like YouTube on my phone really. When I'm at home, that's something I would use my computer for or my iPad for. And if I'm doing that, I'm going to be wearing AirPods. Even if like I'm sitting at my desk, I rarely listen to YouTube videos through my computer speakers. Like I'm usually at my desk, I use my AirPods Max. I also have another pair of AirPods Pro in here. So I'm usually using one of those two things. Same thing with my iPad. I rarely use the actual speakers on my iPad to watch videos. Usually I have my AirPods in. Same thing with my phone. If I am using my phone, like if I'm in the car on like a trip or something, I'm not just going to be blasting YouTube or my music or whatever from my phone speaker. So it's not an issue for me. That's something I took into consideration, and it's something that personally I didn't care about because um, I don't I don't use the speakers like that. So if you do, then maybe you do want to check that out, and you might want to consider getting a Pro or a regular 17 or something with stereo speakers if that's something that matters to you. But it's not something that matters to me. Same thing with the single camera. I rarely use the camera to take any kind of serious photography, so I'm not worried about um, I'm not worried about the camera and the zoom and all that kind of stuff. This one camera is perfectly fine for what I use my phone for. I never, like, on my iPhone 16 Pro Max, which I still have. I never really used any of the additional cameras. Like I would, okay, hey, I want to show this to a friend. I'm just going to snap a picture real quick, or I want to upload this to X. Let me just snap a picture real quick. I'm not, taking any high quality photography or anything like that. So those things didn't matter to me. I would rather have this really, really thin form factor of a device with the single camera that Apple really did make this camera good. When they're calling it two cameras in one. I mean, it's a great camera for what it is. Sure, it's not the the macro and the zoom lens and all that kind of stuff, but it's a great camera for what it is, and it does the job I need it to do. So, I didn't need to pay extra money for the Pro for a bigger, thicker phone. This is like my ideal device right here. Yeah, I mean, you have to experience this in your hand to get like a feel for it. But I mean, it's lightweight, it's thin, it's easy to hold. It's a great one hand device. It's like the perfect size for me. I've been Pro all the way since like the Pro line started with the whatever it was. I had like the 10s, and then the 11 Pro Max, 12 Pro Max, 13 Pro Max. I've had all the Pro Maxes, and like once Samsung came out with the Galaxy S25 Edge, I was like, wow, I really like this form factor. I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of battery for a smaller device. And that being said, I do have the Apple MagSafe battery for the Air, and I have not had to use it. I mean, I used it the other day just to like try it out, but I haven't had to actually use it to extend the life of the battery or anything like that in an actual use case scenario. Let me see, it's in my bag right here. Let me see if I can dig it out. Somehow it fell to the deep dark abyss in here. There it is. So that battery right there, or well, the battery inside of here is actually the exact same battery that is inside the iPhone Air. And the only reason that this battery is only able to charge the phone to about 65%, or extend the battery life to about 65%. No, I don't have the keys. I don't have the clear case. I got this is the Shadow one. It's the same material as the Apple clear case, but it's like a frosted not it's not frosted. It's like a smoked black. It's like a charcoal color kind of. Still transparent, but it's not completely clear. But yeah, the only reason that this doesn't charge the iPhone to 100%, even though it's the exact same internal battery, is just because of the efficiency loss between, a battery charging a battery and it being wireless. But if you open this up and take this battery out, you can actually put this battery in the phone and it will work. It's the exact same battery. So down the line, if you need, of course, Apple's going to be selling like replacement batteries in the self repair store. But if you need a battery, like same day, technically you can go to the store, pick one of these up for $100, take it apart, take the battery out, and plop it into an iPhone. It will work. I mean, it's not going to be ideal because you're going to be missing some of the, you'll still need like the adhesive and stuff like that and the seal for the screen. But in a pinch, you can take the battery out of this and swap it into an iPhone to replace it. So that is, that's pretty cool that Apple actually used the same parts and it's not locked down or anything like that. You can still do the parts pairing and everything like that because the iPhone's going to recognize it as the same battery. And there's a couple of YouTube channels that I think made videos on that. I don't know if they actually tested it fully to the point where they did it, but I know a couple channels have indeed verified that it is swappable. So that's pretty cool. So MagSafe battery, and I'll plop it on this case for you guys real quick too. It sits right under the camera plateau, so kind of right up against it. Works with this case. I haven't run into any cases where it doesn't work yet. I do have the Apple bumper as well, and it does sit in between the kind of rails on the bumper. I did just get the OtterBox Defender XT Pro, so I'll be trying it on that as well. But really, any MagSafe case it should work with. Of course, it does not work with any of the other phones because of the fact it is longer, you know, because it's a little bit skinnier than the OG MagSafe battery. But it does not work with any of the other devices. You can put it on sideways and it will still stick and charge it, but it's not obviously designed to work with any of the other devices. So yeah, not really an issue whatsoever for me. So this battery is indeed the same size as the internal iPhone battery. I do have links to all this stuff in the description as well. I don't think I put the MagSafe battery in there, but I will. But I've got the ESR screen protector that I have on here. Really love these screen protectors. This is a 3-pack. I think it was like 20 bucks. It's the Armorite one. They're very, very easy to put on. It comes with a little tray. You just close the thing over top of it. Actually, I have the tray right here. You just close it, put your phone in there, and give the tab a pull. And it's got the kind of like automatic dust removal kind of deal and everything like that, so you don't have to worry about the dust on it. So if you're looking for a great screen protector, check out the link. The ESR screen protectors are down there, and I'll put the MagSafe battery in the description too if anybody wants to take a look at it. But like I said, I have not had to use it yet. I just bought it with the iPhone from Apple, so you know, would I buy it, you know, now? Probably just for longer trips and stuff like that. But you know, it's not a necessity to extend your battery life, in my opinion, unless you're a really, really heavy user. I do wish they came out with the MagSafe battery again for the other devices, but just with the battery size on those phones and the battery life that Apple is, you know, claiming that they're getting, I don't think they're going to do that, because if, you know, Apple's going to claim, hey, biggest battery in an iPhone, best battery life in an iPhone, and then they come out with a you know, a MagSafe battery again, people are going to kind of question those claims. So I don't think they will do that, but I really, really love this phone. I was planning on getting the iPhone 17 Pro Max just to get the orange one, and trading in or selling my iPhone 16 Pro Max. But after using this and seeing how it performs and all that kind of stuff over the last couple days, right now I do not plan on getting the 17 Pro Max anymore, just because I actually want this to be my daily driver and that kind of stuff. So I don't really have any reason to get the Pro Max right now. Maybe down the road, but right now I think the new form factor and that kind of stuff is the go-to way. So if anybody has any questions, let me know. If you have any questions you want to know about the iPhone Air, I'm gonna pull out the cases I have. I'm gonna do some videos on these cases, so I'm not going to like put them on in the stream. But I do have a video coming of the Apple one. I just recorded it earlier before the stream started. And I have my AirPods to unbox too. So this is, I got the Spigen Ultra Hybrid right here. Just a clear case with MagSafe for the Air. This is the OtterBox I bought. I accidentally bought the one for the Pro Max, so I actually just listed this on eBay for like 10 bucks cheaper than retail. It just excuse me, just because I didn't want to return it. You know, just a pain in the butt to return to Amazon. It's not a pain in the butt, but I'd basically have to pay shipping and then lose out on like $7. So I'm just gonna sell it on eBay. And I already reordered the proper one. It's down here as well. So I've got this to check out. I'll have videos on the other cases as well. So look forward to those. Would I recommend going with the Air as a Pro Max user? It depends on why you like the Pro Max. If you are somebody that heavily uses the camera and all the camera features and stuff like that, then I would say you're going to want a Pro Max still, because you don't want to, you know, you don't want to lose the camera features with having just the single camera on the iPhone Air. Um, if you're somebody that buys the Pro Max just to have the larger screen and, you know, just to say you have a Pro Max over the base model iPhone, then I think the Air is a great phone. If you're not somebody heavily using the camera, I mean, you still have all the other features. You still have your camera control. You still have your action button, all that kind of stuff. It's still 120 hertz. All the iPhones are ProMotion this year, so no matter what iPhone you go with, you're still getting the ProMotion display. And other than the size of the screens are actually the same on all the iPhones this year. So even if you get the base model, you know, again, other than the size, it's the same screen in terms of brightness, in terms of quality, in terms of refresh rate, all that kind of stuff is the same. So if you're somebody that just uses your phone for daily apps, you know, browsing the web, checking email, you know, some social media, stuff like that, um, great form factor for that. It's a great phone. So um, I recommend the iPhone Air. Like I said, I haven't had any issues with it. I've had it for 2 days now, so I mean we'll be doing some follow ups and stuff like that with battery life and all that kind of stuff. Um, you know, later down the road, but as of right now, phone's performing great, very fast. It's got the A17 Pro. I mean, that's going to be the only other difference between this phone and the regular base model is the other one's going to have the A19, and then the Air and the Pros have the A19 Pro. This one only has a 5-core GPU, whereas the Pros have the 6-core GPU, but the CPU is the same. The Pros also have the vapor chambers, so they have better cooling. But other than that, sorry, I'm looking off to the side. My preview for the camera is over here, so I'm like looking at that instead of looking straight where my webcam is. But yeah, the other than that, the performance is about the same, so you're not really losing too much there. If you're doing a lot of GPU intensive tasks, the Pro is going to be for you. But other than that, basic stuff, Air is just fine. Let's see. Yep, and so in 2 days, I still only have one cycle on it. So obviously, I'm not having to put it on the charger a bunch and anything like that. Still amazed by the 15 Pro Max. Yeah, I mean, 15 Pro Max is still a great phone, especially if you don't need the latest and the greatest. But I definitely, you know, as somebody who makes videos on this stuff, I want to try, you know, the newest. I actually have this is a case for when I had my S25 Edge. So you can kind of just compare, you know, size in here, case to case. iPhone is a little bit thinner. I think the S25 Edge comes in at about 2.2 millimeters thicker. Obviously, you're getting two cameras on that and a little bit bigger battery. But iOS with their battery optimization, I know some people don't think it's that good, but iOS with the battery optimization, you're still getting better battery life, in my opinion, than what I was getting on the S25 Edge. The S25 Edge was definitely one that I had to charge probably a time and a half in most days to get through the day. But other than that, I'm not having any type of issue or anything like that with charging or any of that kind of stuff. So not really a problem for me whatsoever. But I'm really excited to try out the AirPods Pro 3. A lot of people have said that those are really good. The selfie camera, yeah. Let me see if I can get a good example here. So you can do if you hit this right here, it'll do your wide angle, similar to what you would have if you turned the phone. You know, if you rotated the previous iPhones, that will give you that view, and then you can do, you know, your closer up kind of deal. So you can do a bunch of different kind of angles and all that kind of stuff with the camera now because it's a square sensor, so you don't have to have your phone in landscape to get that other angle. But again, not somebody who's a huge camera user, so I don't really pay attention to that stuff. You know, so I'll use it every once in a while. Probably the selfie camera even less. I think that any kind of sensor on the front of the phone only really gets used for Face ID. I don't really not really a huge selfie taker, and not really somebody who uses the front camera a lot. But it is nice to have that, especially if you're taking like a group shot. It's easier to do like group selfies or whatever you would call that. A group photo. Just holding your phone out in your hand. You don't have to turn it sideways and kind of have that awkward angle. You can just hold it straight out, and then it's easier to get your thumb on the camera control and just snap a picture that way without having to have your hand over the screen, which makes the phone a little harder to hold, stuff like that. But it's a nice feature, I will admit. And I don't have any scratches on mine. I really like the fact that it's titanium still on the edges, as opposed to going back to the pros were never aluminum. The pros had always been, they were stainless steel, then they were titanium, and now they've gone to aluminum. So it's the same material that the regular base model iPhone's been made out of. Your lagging stop. Yeah, iOS 26, like when the beta first came out, it was pretty laggy, but then towards the end, like beta 6, and on, they really, really fixed up the animations and really, really smoothed things out, and it's been really, really good since, even on like older devices. But I want to set up my I did an unboxing video of this, but I got the Apple Watch Ultra 3 here, so I'm gonna go ahead and fire this up. Yeah, I think titanium's the best material. I mean, if you guys watch Jerry Rig Everything, he did a video on the iPhone Air and the durability, and it took, I think it was like 217 pounds of force concentrated on like one part of the phone before the phone actually um, bent and broke the screen. And that just bent and broke the screen. It didn't actually, like, the phone didn't snap in half, and the phone was technically still working. So that was pretty amazing. It just cracked the screen. I don't even think the back cracked. It was only the screen. So we're gonna pair my Apple Watch here. All right. I think it's amazing how quickly that scans that like moving image like that and just like pairs it. All right, we'll just restore it from the backup on my. Yeah, so I have I haven't had an Apple Watch Ultra since uh like July. Because for a while I had both, and then I ended up just not using the Ultra. We just backed this up today, so we're gonna go ahead and restore from my Apple Watch Series 10 backup just to get any apps and data and stuff I had, and then I'll set it up with the new screen protector and that kind of stuff for my, not screen protector, the new watch faces. Let's see, we'll do a passcode real quick. If you're the kind of person that ever sends messages from your watch, like with the keyboard, this screen is definitely the one for that. I'm just leaving this default. I usually just use that for the flashlight. Don't need that because I don't really go underwater. All right, we'll get that set up. No, the pros really don't have a scratching issue. I mean, the only thing I've seen on the pro that was legit and like a thing was like on the plateau, like on the corner of it, where somebody like rubbed it on something. But as far as the back of the phone, where it's glass, those aren't scratches that are in the glass. That's just material transfer from, like especially the ones in the Apple Store. All that stuff wipes off. People are just posting that stuff to get views and get engagement farming and stuff like that. Um, Obviously, the phone's going to scratch in certain conditions, but all that kind of stuff is a lot of people just trying to get views and comments and that kind of crap. I mean, even after like a year on my iPhone 16 Pro Max, there's a couple scratches on the back, but other than that, there's nothing, and I rarely use the case on it. But I'm really excited for this watch. I haven't had, like I said, I haven't used an Ultra in a little while. This is my first black one. I just had the regular titanium before, and I didn't upgrade. I didn't upgrade last year because it was just a Series 2 and a and a new color. So I didn't. There was no point in there's no point in doing that. All right, this is still signing in apparently. And if you guys can do me a favor, if you're in the stream, click that like button. We got 15 people in here and only one like, so I really appreciate it if you guys can smash the like button. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any more of my miss any of my iPhone content, my case videos, stuff like that. I've got a couple more cases on the way, so we'll have some case videos. Like I said, I just recorded some, so those will be coming out throughout the next week. One case I hope they bring back for the Air. It's coming out for the 17. Haven't heard anything for the 17 Pro um, or the Air yet, but that's the Clicks keyboard case. Use this on my iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I don't leave it on there all the time, but it is a nice case to use every once in a while. So I hope they bring that back. We'll set up Apple Pay later. I don't need to get to know my watch because I've had plenty of Apple Watches. So we'll just let it sync. Yeah, the Apple leather cases. I heard the tech woven cases are supposed to be better this year. I never ended up owning any of the fine woven cases, but I hear that the tech woven cases are better. All right, so since I restored it from a backup, it's still called the Series 10, but I'll change that later when it's done, when the watch is done pairing. But yeah, I mean, I never really had never had the fine woven cases. Everybody always talked bad about them, so I never ended up picking any up. But other than that, I mean, I like the Apple Clear case. I think I'll probably like this one better because it's not going to. It's a little harder to see like fingerprints and stuff, and like dust and stuff that gets trapped under it. If you switch cases a lot, like when you take a clear case off, it's just never the same because you get stuff on the back of the phone, you get stuff in the back of the case, and then you put it on the phone and it just sandwiches it between the case and the phone, and you can see it through the case. So that's one thing that I don't like about clear cases. And this kind of gives you the mix between clear case and um, and not being able to see all that stuff. So I do like that. All right, it looks like just like that, my Apple Watch is ready to go. I don't need to take a tour of WatchOS 26 because I've had it. Look at that, 92% charge. 92% charge. Don't even have to go plug it in. Yes, Ultra Supply Company is the company that makes the other band that I use, the titanium link bracelet. Really, really nice. I have a link in the description for them with a discount code as well if anybody's interested in checking those out. Just ordered the 17 Pro. How long did? Oh, are you asking? Okay, you're asking him. Sorry. I was no, I got. Yeah, I was gonna say I got mine on release day, and then I was looking for the Apple Watch Ultra, and I actually found Best Buy didn't have a lot of them, but they did have the one with this band, and I wasn't really too picky on the band because I was going to be using the band I already have. So, and I ordered I had an Amazon gift card, and I ordered my AirPods Pro 3 on Amazon, and it said that like until Friday when they came out, it said that they would email me when they had a delivery date, and I never got one. And then on Friday, yeah, on Friday, I got emailed a date. And it said it was going to be between October like 6th and like the end of October. So I was like, oh man, I shouldn't have pre-ordered through Amazon. And then I got an email yesterday that they shipped and would be arriving today. And then I looked back at the Amazon page, the listing for them, and they're like shipping like next day now. So I don't know how they were a month out. And then all of a sudden they're arriving the next day. So I do have the AirPods Pro 3 in the house. Obviously, it's kind of hard to demo these or anything, but I will be doing an unboxing video of them and showing some of the differences between the AirPods Pro 3 and the AirPods Pro 2. I've got both sets of the AirPods Pro 2. I have the Lightning version, and then I have the USB-C version that I picked up actually not too long ago because I was um, tired of having to find Lightning cables just to charge my headphones. I do like the silver color on the iPhone 17 on the Pros. It reminds me kind of the classic, original iPhone with like the silver and the black antenna bar. I also have, let me grab it. Here we go. The correct case for the iPhone 17 Air Defender XT, and this is just the e-commerce packaging because I ordered it on Amazon. That's why it's in that little like cardboard box. So I've got quite the case collection. I have a case coming from Thinborn as well, which is like the carbon fiber case. Yeah, the iPhone 5. My favorite iPhone I think was probably the 4S. That was my first iPhone was the 4S. I like the 4S, and then the 5S was my next one. I like the way the 4S felt in the hand because it was, you know, aluminum on the sides and then glass front, glass back. Just felt really nice. And then the 5S, of course, went to like glass, and then like the metal in the middle. But I like the fact that it had Touch ID as first one, Touch ID. So yeah, the Sierra Blue, that was a nice color. I was always somebody that I always just got black, like space black or space gray or whatever it was called that year, because the other colors would always sell out, first, like all the new colors or the colors that were like specific to one model. I was always afraid of them selling out first, and I wasn't really somebody who was ordering a phone for the color. I was ordering a phone for the phone, so I never really got any of the special colors. If I got the iPhone 17 Pro Max, it would have been the orange one. The blue one doesn't look bad either. I mean, I kind of like all the colors in the 17 Pro Max. It'd honestly be a hard choice. I probably would say orange is first, silver is second, and then the blue is third. But it's also hard to rank them in an order like that because I kind of like them all equally. And like, if I had the means to buy three iPhones and the need to buy three iPhones, I just buy one of each color. Thoughts on the foldable iPhone next year? I think so, and I've heard this a lot here on the iPhone Air videos. Um, of course, with the S25 Ultra, or sorry, the Z Fold 7, it's about this thickness on each side. So a lot of people are thinking that this design kind of might be the first step in the iPhone Fold. You know, the way they have the logic board placed up here, using part of the plateau, the battery. If they did this kind of deal, and then they put, you know, maybe they could put another camera on it because of the, you know, there being another half. But like, just think of another. I'm just going to use this case for example. You know, just think of it like this. Um, you know, and having an iPhone, two of these basically together. I think that would be the perfect iPhone fold. So, and a lot of people think that this new form factor and chassis kind of design is going to be, you know, what they kind of designed the iPhone Fold from, which would make sense because it's thin enough. They can put another battery on the other half. I mean, if they put two of these batteries in one phone, I mean, you're looking at really great battery life. So I can't see the iPhone. I can't see an iPhone Fold. Just, you know, we obviously know it's going to have a pretty high price tag, so I can't see that. I can't see that being only one camera. So I don't know where they'll put the other camera or what they'll do about that. But I think we will. We'll definitely see something kind of modeled after the iPhone Air. Yeah, in Europe. Yeah, I know a lot of people over there with iPhones, but I know Samsung's pretty popular over there. And then obviously they have some other brands and stuff like that. Android, you know, some cheaper phones that are pretty popular over there as well. But I would say that the Air is like, I think the last time I was this excited for an iPhone was probably the iPhone 10. When they changed, you know, from the older. I have an iPhone SE2 here, which is basically the same as the iPhone 8. So, you know, when they went from this to the iPhone 10, that was like a huge difference. I mean, we have you got the home button and everything like that gone. You know, a completely different redesign. I mean, and these phones weren't thick either. That was still a pretty thin phone for its day, but you know, even compared to the Air now, it's still thinner. The Air's still thinner, but great phones. And then they went to the iPhone 10, and that was, you know, a really big redesign. Same thing with the Air. It's a totally different form factor. And this does have iOS 26 on it, by the way. It's completely dead though, but I put like two new batteries in this phone because I bought one. I bought this like a cheap Amazon battery, and then I bought an actual Apple one to put in there. 7:39 in Europe. Yep, it's currently 1:39 p.m. here, and in the States, I'm in the Eastern time zone, so I'm on the East Coast. I'm actually gonna plug this iPhone in and update it to iOS 26. It's got the beta on it, but it's probably on like beta like 2 or 3. Because I think I installed the beta on like beta 1, and that was it. But yep, I'm definitely loving the iPhone Air. Probably gonna end the stream here in a few minutes just to go ahead and go unbox my iPads Pro, my my AirPods Pro. Um, I want to get the video up that I made of the cases. I want to unbox my other cases and do videos of those. Um, so the jailbreaking days, yep, those were. I never really jailbroke an iPhone. I think I jailbroke my iPod Touch at one point. Um, with like Cydia, and then I put some, you know, I just did like themes and stuff like that. And then I never really messed with anything after that. I used to do a lot of custom ROMs on Android phones, Pixels, OnePlus, that kind of stuff. That's actually what kind of what got me into Android was the custom ROMs, and I think that's kind of what got me started on OnePlus. I mean, I've had a couple OnePluses, and I'll buy, you know, when a new one comes out, I'll buy one every once in a while. But I think I had like the OnePlus 5 or 5T or whatever it was. I had the OnePlus 13. I had the one that's out now for a short while. I tried it out. I actually had the OnePlus Open, and I really like that phone for, you know, they're foldable, because I love OnePlus software. It's really fast and smooth and everything like that. I really like the foldable, and I would get another OnePlus foldable if they would come out with a new one. But the OnePlus Open is, you know, I mean, like 3 years old now, 4 years old now, and I don't even know if they still sell it. Let's see. It's still on their website, but it's listed as out of stock. So I don't know if they actually still are making them, um, or whatnot. But they're $1,700. I'm not gonna pay $1,700 for a phone that's been out for 4 years. But I have the OnePlus 13. It's a great phone. I really like the charging technology that OnePlus has, with their 80 to 100 watt charging, depending on what you get. Um, you can really charge those phones quick, and I like that. Winterboard. I think I messed with Winterboard for a while. Oh, a long, long time ago. It's actually weird to turn this iPhone on because I totally redid my home screen setup. So this iPhone is like my old, like old setup. And then I cleaned up my layout so I don't have, I don't have a ton of apps. Like that's my second page now, and this is my second page then, and it's kind of hard to see over here, but the charger won't reach into the camera. But I started using the app library and the search for the apps that I just don't use that much, instead of having my home screen plastered with a bunch of stuff. I actually didn't start fresh. Like I didn't wipe my phone. I I just literally, like, I went into settings one day, and I didn't do this when I got the Air. I did this before on my Pro Max. I just went into settings one day and reset the whole home screen layout, and then wiped off the apps that I didn't need. I don't know why the battery on the Apple Watch is yellow. I don't know why. Is it in like power saving mode? I don't know why it would be. Is that even a thing on the app? Why is it yellow? Battery. Low power mode is okay. I don't know. It went away now on the iPhone. Like literally the little battery widget thing on my iPhone for my Apple Watch battery level was yellow, and I thought like low power mode was on or something, but it wasn't. And then I went into the battery settings and it went green again. So don't know what that means. I've never seen low power mode on another device show up on the iPhone widget. But yeah, I didn't start fresh. I literally just uh, wiped my whole home screen and then put over the apps that I use most, like like my social media stuff, Discord, YouTube Studio X, Instagram, Snapchat, Reddit, and then my dock down there. I need to do what's on my iPhone, especially like a what's on my iPhone Air with iOS 26. And then I have phone messages, home, and Safari. And then everything else I just use the app library for. Or most commonly, I'll just pull down to search, and any apps that I've commonly used are right there in the Siri suggestions. So I don't even have to really search for them. It kind of works out. It's cleaner home screen, and stuff is still easy to access. Let's see what well, it's not gonna tell me what beta I'm on this phone, but man, it's weird having Touch ID. Maybe I should use the this iPhone for like a day or something. I'll have to wait till the honeymoon period wears off on the iPhone Air. Um, Not connected to the internet. I'm gonna wait to do that because I'll probably get a ton of notifications on there if I connect it to the Wi-Fi right now. But yeah, maybe I should do like a day using the iPhone SE2 on iOS 26. But this one doesn't. It's not the Air 3, or not the Air 3, not the SE3. So it doesn't have 5G. That's the only thing that kind of sucks. It's still it's LTE only. But yeah, I'm gonna go get my other Apple Watch band. I'm gonna set all that kind of stuff up, and I'm gonna go. I have a couple of videos already to upload. If you guys can hear that motorcycle just went by. I have a couple of videos already to upload. I'm probably going to do the Apple Watch unboxing, and then do some case videos. I already did the one on the Apple one, so that's ready to go. And then I just need to record the OtterBox, the Spigen, and the other cases are not here yet. So I've got like 3 case videos already ready to go. And then I'll do like a day, first weekend kind of review of the iPhone Air, just like a regular long form video instead of a live stream, for people that don't really watch the live streams. I know if you kind of want like one specific bit of information, it's hard to come back and watch a live stream where I ramble on for 45 minutes to an hour just to kind of, hear me talk about what you want to hear over an hour instead of over like 5 minutes. So I'll make a video on that as well for you guys. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If you got a new iPhone, check the links in the description for some accessories. Most of the stuff I have listed down below, those links will take you to the Amazon page for the iPhone Air, but you can still click that link and just switch to the iPhone that you have, whether it be a 17, 17 Pro, 17 Pro Max. And some of those accessories are even available for the last few generations as well. And of course, using those links helps the channel, which I do greatly appreciate because it helps me pay for stuff like this and like this, not only for myself, but to make videos for you guys so you can learn more about it and see some cases and accessories for them and all that kind of stuff without having to purchase it on your own just to try it out. So make sure you check out those links. I'm Colin with Techout. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe.